In other news, NYSE-listed FICO is making headlines when it comes to its AI and analytics innovation. Joining me now with more is Scott Zoll, FICO's Chief Analytics Officer. Scott, great to have you on the show this morning, joining us from London. What should our viewers know about your focused foundation model?
Yeah, so at FICO, we have a focus on ensuring that we build models that are responsibly built for the purposes of enterprise problems. And so a FICO foundational model or focused model is one that has a very specialized data corpus, and it's a class of small language model designed to do a very specific enterprise task at high accuracy and with very, very low hallucination rate.
What challenges does this solve?
So these challenges are areas such as, automating things like underwriting, customer compliance, or doing things like fraud detection more effectively by looking at the entire transaction history of a consumer when trying to make the best decision, whether they're experiencing fraud, scam, or hardship.
And what would you say makes your solution at FICO different than others on the market?
So first, we start by building a model by scratch, and that's really important. To be responsible with the use of this AI, we need to make sure that we have complete control of the data that's used to build these models. From that perspective, the models are auditable. We can change what that data is. And so unlike other solutions where you might use a traditional foundation model and try to fine tune it and not know what data is in there that could cause hallucination or ethics issues, you build it from scratch. And by building it by scratch, you meet this sort of responsible AI contract that many financial services organizations have, where they need to make sure that they understand what was used to build this model, that was built ethically and explainably and transparently. And that gives us the confidence to make decisions, really impactful decisions about the enterprise, not just making organizations more efficient, but actually making really strong value-based decisions that are sustainable.
FICO recently released its State of Responsibility AI report. What were the biggest takeaways there?
So what was really great about the report was it surveyed about 254 CTOs, CIOs, and chief analytics officers. And what came out of it was essentially a focus on what are the biggest drivers for return on investment in using AI in financial services. And it was around things like 60% saying that a common decisioning platform was most effective. 54% saying essentially that domain-specific models like the focused foundation model will be critical for their responsible and confident use of these technologies. 57% said that responsible AI was core and really important for achieving this ROI in the next 18 months. What was surprising also was generative AI in general was only ranked 40%, and agentic AI was 29%, which means that we're getting back to basics of not just being enthralled with AI technology, but finding ways to develop the right type of AI technology so we can actually use it within industry to make those decisions.
How can organizations measure responsible AI?
So one of the things that we need to make sure that organizations do if they want to measure is there a model development standard? Most organizations still struggle with defining what that standard looks like, and they suffer from the fact that they can't collaborate effectively to get AI solutions in. So, for example, collaboration and alignment amongst organizations is cited as one of the largest sort of concerns in terms of achieving the value propositions with AI. So the first step, have an AI standard, which would be how you develop this AI, how you'll monitor that AI, and how you improve that AI over time, and make sure that all stakeholders, CTOs, CIOs, and chief analytics or chief AI officers are aligned to that standard. Without a standard, right, we have many different directions that people are pursuing, and very often, right, AI is way too complicated not to have everyone on the same standard and essentially the attack path for making sure that we can deploy it properly.
Now, your study shows over 75% of respondents say unified AI decisioning platforms can help boost AI ROI, return on investment, by 50%. Why is that?
So one of the main reasons is that operationalization of AI is really hard, right? And so, many people have tried proof of concepts with AI. They find some initial intriguing results, but they have a difficulty in operationalizing that. And so part of that is making sure that a decisioning platform is available such that there's a standard way to ingest technology. It speaks to what types of AI models could be deployed, what are the latency and throughput requirements, and everyone becomes expert in using that. And so it essentially becomes the common sort of working ground under which all these different functions within an organization deploy AI. Without that, right, they have to build it from scratch, and that's a very, very long process and prone with problems.
Scott Zoldi, FICO's Chief Analytics Officer. Thanks so much for joining us, Scott, this morning from London, a little bit later in the day in London. We appreciate it.
Thank you.